Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtuprayesha Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhagavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 19, the appearance of Shukdev Goswami, text number 12 onwards. Sukho pavishteshu vateshu bhuya brahma pranamah swachikirshapamya vigyapayama vikta cheta prasito agre abhi grihnita panihi. After all the rishis and others had seated themselves comfortably, the king, humbly standing before them with folded hands, told them of his decision to fast until death. So the background you can see, but background Shukdev Goswami has arrived. But before Shukdev Goswami, the king in the middle, he was speaking with all the sages, and here in the shloka, it is said that he told all the sages of his decision of fasting till death. So he was given this curse of dying within 7 days. After 7 days, by the bite of a snake bird, takshak. So Prabhupada, of course, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days guaranteed. But he used those 7 days in hearing about Krishna. And now, if you see, he has taken a decision that he will fast until death. So 7 days he had taken a decision, I will not eat anything. But at the same time, not just not eat anything, later on we'll see that he heard the whole Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of all the sages. So all the powerful sages were there from all over the universe. So they would not come just for any person if it wasn't a really person of high caliber. So Parikshit Maharaj was of that caliber, that all the sages had come. And now his decision to fast until death, it's amazing. And in the purport, Prabhupada writing, although the king had already decided to fast until death on the bank of the Ganges, he humbly expressed his decision to elicit the opinions of the great, putting forward his opinion in front of the great authorities. It means he's asking for their approval also. Any important decision, however firmly fixed, should be confirmed by some authority. That makes the matter perfect. This means that the monarchs who ruled the earth in those days were not irresponsible dictators. They scrupulously followed the authoritative decisions of the saints and sages in terms of Vedic injunction. Maharaj Parikshit, as a perfect king, followed the principles by consulting the authorities even up to the last days of his life. So Maharaj Parikshit, he got this news that he is cursed by this Brahman and he's going to die after 7 days. Still, look at his composure. He is not disturbed at all. Suppose many times it happens, people get news, or they will die in 6 months, or they'll die in 12 months, or whatever disease they have, and they get so disturbed. In fact, in America, there was a person who had some disease, and it was some time ago, probably in 70s or 80s. So he became so famous that he was doing TV shows people were coming and listening, and then he was saying, "Okay," and they were filming his activities, and he was going all over the world, doing sometimes doing mountain climbing. That it means he wanted to gratify his senses to the fullest because he was given only 6 months to live. And people all over the world were admiring, oh, see how brave he is and how much he's enjoying and how. But this is not there. Look at Parikshit Maharaj. He had everything. He was emperor of the whole world, and he gave up everything. And in fact, in the previous verses we read that how he said, "Oh, all this management and this kingdom and everything," and this is what he did. And he knows he has 7 days and he's fasting till death. It's not like he's going to eat the one best food available so that there's no desire left, and and he's going to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. Not just go around mountain climbing or scuba diving or go to clubs and go to bars and go to the beaches. This is not what he was doing. So this is for a person who knows the value of life. One who knows really the goal of life, the value of life. What's my aim? Then he can achieve this mission. Not just knowing the goal, but being steadfast, being determined to achieve that goal. Even in the midst of the greatest calamity. The greatest calamity is he's going to die in 7 days. There's no way out. Now, from this, we have to think of ourselves. Suppose we get the news that you're going to die in whatever, 7 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. What are we going to do? What will be our priority? That's what we have to be ready for. Okay, Parikshit Maharaj is amazing, great devotee. But this is what, every time we hear Bhagavatam or every time we hear Bhagavad Gita or any other lecture from great devotees, we have to run this radio station, this FM radio station in our mind, in our hearts. WIIFM. It means what's in it for me. Means what kind of message is there for me? What is the motivational point for me? What's the inspirational point for me in this lecture? That is what we have to draw. Katha is very good. It's very nice, but we have to get motivated. We have to find something that will inspire us to do more and do better on our path of bhakti. So from this, what we can infer is, what will I do if I have a similar situation? Will I really be determined to think of Krishna, to chant his name, to hear about him? Or I'll be busy doing other activities, or what will happen to my house, to my jewelry, to my bank balance, or to my this, to my bachas, to my husband, to my wife. What will happen to them? And I'll be more worried about them. That's what we have to draw a conclusion from these points. Text 13. Rajavacha aho vayam dhanya pramanaripanam mahatam anugrihnīya shīlaha ragyam kulam brahmana padashocha durad visrishtam vat garya karma. The fortunate king said, indeed, we are the most grateful of all the kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you, sages, consider royalty as refused to be rejected and left in a distant place. So he is speaking to all the rishis who are assembled there, that generally you sages consider royalty as refused to be rejected and left in a distant place. That like yesterday we were discussing that sages generally don't like to associate with kings or materialistic minded people. So he is saying, I'm very fortunate that you all have assembled here. So see his humility. He's not saying that he has all the qualities, that's why the sages have come. He's saying, I have no qualifications, but still you have come to give me your mercy. According to religious principles, stool, urine, attached bathrooms, urinals, etc., may be very convenient amenities of modern civilization, but they are ordered to be situated at a distance from residential quarters. Nowadays, we cannot live without attached bathroom. Actually, we are attached to it. That's why we want attached bathroom and urine. Any flat that you look for, any house you want to buy, first thing we look for is that does it have attached bathroom, attached toilet to my bedroom or not? And and here, according to religious principles, stool, urine, wash, water, etc., must be left at a long distance. And actually, the real criteria used to be, because at that time all the Kshatriyas were there and the bow and arrow. So as far as you can throw an arrow, that's how far this toilet should be from the place of residence. But nowadays, obviously, everything is topsy-turvy. But imagine if somebody is living on 13th or 20th floor and his toilet is so far away, by the time he gets down, the nature will be really calling him. So that very example is cited here in relation to the kingly order for those who are progressively marching back to Godhead. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, to be in intimate touch with dollars and cents men, or the kingly order is worse in suicide for those who desire to go back to Godhead. It's worse than suicide. Can you believe that? That's Mahaprabhu's version. And here, I mean, here we are, even in the temple, when we are there, then we look forward to somebody, big person coming, or we go after, we invite him and do this, that. Obviously, our intention is to engage him in the service of Krishna. But there is a high chance, because we are not that mature, there is a high chance that we get enamored by his opulence, or we get envious of his opulence. In fact, this so happened once Tamalkesh Maharaj and Prabhupada and other disciples also, they went to somebody's house for dinner. He had invited big man, and he made everybody sit down, beautiful dining table, and he served everybody in silver plates, real silver plates and silver bowls and silver cups. So after the prasadam and when they were returning back, Tamalkesh Maharaj told Prabhupada, actually we cannot do that, but we should be able to serve you every day silver plates and bowls and cups. Prabhupada understood his mind, and he told him, don't be envious of his position. We can. There's a high chance we can become envious. Or we can get enamored, or we can start devising some means to get the riches, to get some favors from that rich person, to get some riches for ourselves instead of for Krishna. There can be anything can happen. Because we are not that mature. that mature. So we have to be very careful. Mahaprabhu, look at Mahaprabhu himself, he said, do not. To be in intimate touch with the person of kingly order is worse than committing suicide. Of course, Prabhupada was in association. Prabhupada did go to their houses. He initiated them like Ambarish Prabhu. He's a great grandson of Henry Ford. Very, very rich person from America. But Prabhupada could not get affected. We can. There is a high chance that we can. Obviously, this doesn't mean we stop reaching, but we have to be very, very careful. That's all. In other words, the transcendentalists do not generally associate with men who are too enamored by the external beauty of God's creation. By advanced knowledge and spiritual realization, the transcendentalist knows that this beautiful material world is nothing but a shadowy reflection of the reality, the kingdom of God. They're not, therefore, very much captivated by royal opulence or anything like that. But in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, the situation was by an inexperienced Brahmin boy. But factually, he was called by the Lord to return to him. So it was all arranged by Krishna so that Parikshit Maharaj could return back to the spiritual world. Other transcendentalists, the great sages and mystics who assembled together because of Maharaj Parikshit's fasting unto death, were quite anxious to see him, for he was going back to Godhead. So they all the sages are assembled there to take Maharaj. The great sages who assembled there were all kind to his forefathers, the Pandavas, because of their devotion service to the Lord. So here Maharaj Parikshit is thinking that the sages are assembled there because I'm grandson of these great Pandavas. Because they were great devotees. He's not thinking I'm a great devotee, that's what everybody is. So another quality of a devotee, being humble. He therefore felt grateful to the sages for being present there at the last stage of his life. And he felt that it was all due to the greatness of his late forefathers or grandfathers. He felt proud, therefore, that he happened to be the descendant of such great devotees. Such pride for the devotees of the Lord is certainly not equal to the puffed up sense of vanity for material prosperity. The first is reality, whereas the other is false and vain. So Maharaj Parikshit was proud, but not proud that he had some quality. He was proud that somehow or other, I am born in this family of great devotees. My forefathers, especially my grandfathers, they were great devotees, and that's where all the sages have come. So that kind of pride is okay, that somehow or other we are connected to a great devotee. So if we are proud of being connected to Prabhupada's movement, there's nothing wrong with that. But that pride should be part of our gratitude towards Prabhupada, that somehow or other, without any qualification of ours, Prabhupada has given us this opportunity to be in his movement, to be able to serve him, to be able to represent him. So that is our pride, actually. Not because we have any qualities, but it's all by mercy of Prabhupada, he has accepted us. That's our pride. Text 14. Tasya myagasya paravaresho vyasakta chittasya grihesho bhikshanam nirvedamulo dvijashaparupo yatra prasakto bhayamashudhatte. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of both the transcendental and mundane worlds, has graciously overtaken me in the form of a Brahman's curse. Due to my being too much attached to family life, the Lord, in order to save me, has appeared before me in such a way that only out of fear I'll detach myself from the world. Now look at his humility. He's saying, I was too attached to the family life. Actually, he wasn't, because if somebody is too attached, he won't just give it up, just like Parikshit Maharaj did. But he's saying, I was too attached, that's why Krishna appeared in the form of Brahman skirts, and so that I'll be afraid and get detached from the world. He's saying, I'm very thankful to Krishna for that. Maharaj, although born trained in transcendental attachment, for the association of the Lord, still found the allurement of mundane family life so strong that he had to be detached by a plan of the Lord. Such direct action is taken by the Lord in the case of a special devotee. Maharaj Parikshit could understand this by the presence of the topmost transcendentalist in the universe. The Lord resides with his devotees, and therefore the presence of the great saints indicated the presence of the Lord. The king therefore welcomed the presence of the great rishis as a mark of favor of the Supreme Lord. So, because in the heart of all these sages, all these transcendentalists, Krishna himself resides. Of course, somebody can say Paramatma is there in everybody's heart. Yeah, Paramatma is there. But how many of us are aware of that? How many of us are really grateful or really realize his presence in our heart? So all these great sages, this is one of the great qualities among all of them, is they have realized, they have experienced the presence of Lord in the heart. And moreover, when somebody really advances on the path of devotion service, so we have Paramatma in our heart, but if we make advancement, so our Ishtadev, whoever our Ishtadev is, he sits in our heart, and the Paramatma feature goes away. Just like when Hanumanji, he opened his chest, there was Sita Ram Lakshman sitting in his heart. When we get too advanced, too attached to whichever form, then then the Lord in that form, he comes and sits in our heart. So all these sages, they had really experienced the presence of the Lord in their heart, and that's why Krishna, that's why Shukdev Goswami is saying, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, that text 15. Tam aupayantam pratiyantu vipra ganga cha devi dhrita chittam ishe dvijopusrishta kuhkastakshakova dashat palam gayat vishnu gatha. O Brahmins, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahman created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. So he is not at all afraid of death. So this is quality. Bhajaho Reman Srinanda Nandan Abhay Charanaravindare. So one who worships the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, he just becomes Abhay, he becomes fearless. He's not afraid of death or any other changes in his life, upheavals in his life. He's not afraid. As soon as one is given up completely unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, he is not at all afraid of death. The atmosphere created by the presence of great devotees of the Lord on the bank of the Ganges, and Maharaj Parikshit's complete acceptance of the Lord's it was he thus became absolutely free from all fear of death. So this is a great quality of devotees, those who are totally surrendered. Even Srila Prabhupada, when he was November 77, when he was in Vrindavan, so he was in Vrindavan for maybe 3-4 months before he left his body. And he had basically stopped eating, stopped drinking, and he was just taking Charnamrit every day. So his body had become very skinny. You can see on YouTube there are videos of Prabhupada leaving his body. And he was still translating Srimad Bhagavatam, giving lecture, giving his purpose on Bhagavatam. He was still guiding his devotees, giving them all kinds of instructions. In fact, I don't know, Tamal Krish Maharaj or some other Maharaj, they arranged for some doctor to come from Delhi to Vrindavan to see him. And at that time, the road from Delhi to Vrindavan, I know it's very nice road. At that time, it wasn't very good, 1977. So the travel wasn't very comfortable. And when these doctors, they reached Vrindavan, they went to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, he himself was in big pain because not taking anything, not eating anything. And when the doctors came, Prabhupada said, "Oh, how was your journey?" And he was making arrangements for the comfortable stay in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada was not at all afraid of death. For a devotee, death is like, okay, I'm going to change this body, I'm going to get a better new body, and the service will continue. Whatever service I'm doing now, it will continue. After I change the body, that's a big deal. The common men, they are afraid of death for many reasons. First, they have to leave everything that they have worked so hard to gather in this lifetime. And secondly, they don't know where they would be going after death. Which body, which house, which planet, which country, where. They don't know anything. But devotees, on the other hand, they are very much aware of. If not exactly where, but they know. First of all, they're not attached to the assets because they know it's all temporary. My body or the relationships of the body or whatever I have gathered in this lifetime, it's all temporary. It's all going to be left here anyway. So why being attached? And secondly, if we don't know exactly where we'll be going, but at least we are assured we have the assurance from scriptures. If a person leaves the body after making good progress, then next birth he takes in the house of devotees from here again starts a devotional service. Or if he leaves the body after little progress, then he takes birth in either rich family or the learned family, something like that. So there is assurance in the case of devotees. Actually, this is a real life insurance policy. Not what LIC people sell or some other people sell. That's not insurance. This is real insurance. And that's why Parikshit Maharaj was not at all afraid. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I just want a clarification between the Paramatma and Ishtadev. Is there any difference?
Difference, just like Vishnu, that form. Ishtadev could be Vishnu form, four-handed,
Uh-huh.
holding Shank Chakra, and it could be not. That depends upon the person. So when we make great advancement, then if my Ishtadev is Radha Krishna, then Radha Krishna come and sit in the house. The Paramatma feature goes away then.
No, I'm not being able to understand. Paramatma feature means like it's not Radha Krishna, it's not Vishnu.
Paramatma is Vishnu form.
Sorry,
Krishna is not Paramatma.
what is Paramatma? Your audio is also not
Paramatma is
very.
heart.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay. Paramatma is the super soul sitting in our heart.
Acha, okay. Okay.
So that Paramatma feature, there is a form of that super soul, and that
Jisko
is
hum
a
log- okay.
Chaturbhuj form, four-handed form.
Okay.
So that is Paramatma.
Okay.
Krishna is not Paramatma, and Krishna's one of the features is Paramatma feature, which is in the heart. That Paramatma is in the heart of everybody, every living entity. And not only every living entity, every atom also. That Paramatma is there. But when one becomes a devotee and his Ishtadev, suppose my Ishtadev is Radha Krishna or Gaurnitai or Radha Sitaram or Lakshmi Narayan. So when one becomes advanced, then they come and sit in the heart. Because that devotee will say, I have nothing to do with Paramatma. I want my Ishtadev. I want to think of my Ishtadev. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Any other question or comment? So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.